Hi, my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired theatrical electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do cabaret, cover band gigs, solo gigs, tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Light vlog.
But I'll be watching you from here.
Hello and Happy New Year. It's 2020. 2020, I believe, is the way you say it. I can't quite believe that. It's the Roaring Twenties again. What are we going to call it? I don't know if we know yet. Anyway, I hope you've had a safe and happy New Year and Christmas. It's obviously been a little bit strange, to say the least, in Australia. You know, with such a big percentage of the country on fire, people losing their lives, their houses and animals, and it's been a little bit of a funny start to the year. I normally love January. It feels like it's a bit of a quieter month and the weather's beautiful and I'm less busy. There's more people around doing fun things and celebrating, and it really hasn't been quite like that this year. Having said that, you know, I'm trying to look at the positive side of it, and I think the whole bushfire issue in Australia has brought people together in many ways. A lot of people are feeling like part of a community. People are helping out more. The generosity has been amazing from Australians and people overseas. And if it means we can all remember to take a bit more care of the planet that we hope take care of us, then I guess some good comes out of everything. Anyway, it is a new year, and what I love, I don't really make New Year's resolutions. I do have to lose the 4 kilos that I ate over Christmas, but that's normal, that's okay, I had fun. Apart from that, I do have goals rather than resolutions. I don't know how different that is, but I really want to make a new album. I made a mini album that I released in November, and I'm continuing to promote that. I'm actually in the middle of editing. Oh, there's a plane. I live in the inner west of Sydney, and it's not really close to the airport, but we're on the flight path, and it means, you know, when I'm recording, I often have to stop for a minute, or, you know, you're watching telly and you go, oh, it's the 10:20 to London. You know, you better put it on pause so you can hear the television. It's worth it though. The inner west of Sydney is worth it. It's beautiful. Anyway, thank you, Qantas. Yes, I made a mini album in November, well, that I released in November last year, and I'm still releasing singles and things from that to promote that. And I'm working on editing the video for A Man That Fell to Earth, which is my tribute to David Bowie, and is actually, I'm trying this new thing, and I'm going to do it with other videos as well. I love retro sci-fi movies. Maybe even more than retro. It goes, you know, to vintage, the really old stuff where you can see the strings on the spaceships, and it's, you know, all the special effects are borderline dodgy, but no, there's something so cool about them, some kind of an innocence, and I love them. So I'm actually, for The Man That Fell to Earth, because it's got a bit of a sci-fi theme, I've taken a public domain late 1950s Japanese sci-fi movie, and I've cut it all up, and I've done some green screen work of me as an alien with cat's eyes and all sorts of exciting things, and I'm editing myself into the movie. Now, I have been doing this for a little while. It's very time consuming, and I probably will get some professional help, but I do love doing that stuff. So that's coming in a few weeks. I've got videos for some of the other songs from Polaroids and Postcards, the mini album as well. But I really want to put out a new full-length album this year. You know, I have these dreams and goals in January, and it's a massive job to put out an album or a mini album, but you have to aim, even if it ends up slipping and it ends up being 2021. I'm going in that direction, so that's exciting. I'm still doing lots of live shows. There's the calendar's pretty full already, so that's always exciting. My other aim, and I suppose you could call it a resolution, is I want to make this vlog weekly. So I won't necessarily interview somebody every week, but because I'll run out of people. Because all the people that I interview on this section of my vlog that I call Stage Stories are all people that I work with. So as many fantastic musicians as there are in Sydney, I wanted to make it about kind of my relationship with the musician, and it's so interesting some of these musicians I've worked with for years and years and years, and only when I sit down and interview them do I find out some stuff about them that's really interesting, you know. Some stuff that I guess you never think of telling somebody unless they ask you. So I actually highly recommend that we all just sit down and interview our friends, because it's been such a lovely experience for me. And there goes another plane. And I've got a lot of great feedback on the vlog in general, so I've decided to make it weekly. I'm going to start including some live footage, which, you know, actually really scares me, which I know is crazy because I perform live all the time. But I guess it's partly because I'm a pretty basic piano player, and some of those things will be me sitting in my little studio and playing the piano and singing. And it freaks me out, the intimacy of that, I guess. And February, traditionally for me, has been a month of songwriting. I try and write songs all year, and I'm always, you know, making notes and on lyric ideas, or even I hear a chord change and you know, I'll write that down, or concept ideas. I try and do that the whole time. And that was my family coming in, so I just stopped for a second, and this one decided to jump up on my shoulder. This is Smokey. Hey, say hello. Anyway, where was I? February. February has traditionally been for me a month where I write songs. I feel like it's almost like this sounds terrible when it's something so creative as songwriting, but it's almost like batch processing things. If I write a whole lot of songs together, I get in the swing better and I feel more motivated to finish things when, you know, there's another one to get to. And so I think it works for me to have a month where I focus on one main thing. Obviously, I still do my shows and I still do everything I have to do, but in any other time I have, I really focus on that. And that's been really successful for me. And it works. It means I write a lot of songs and I actually finish them. There's a thing called Record Production Month, RPM, which is an international movement where people upload demos to a website in February, and the goal is you finish 10 songs in a month. So I kind of use that, although for me it's not about the production because I am not a producer. I'll work with producers to get them sounding decent, but it's just about actually having a demo, even if it's really rough, of the song, so that there's, you know, a melody and music and a loop or whatever there to be the main structure of the song. So I'm going to be doing that this February, and I also thought about maybe posting those demos, but they are pretty dodgy, and I do worry about that because if someone's hearing a dodgy demo and that's the first thing they hear of you, they go, oh, well, that's a bit rubbish. If they know it's a demo and they've heard something that's finished, then I think people can appreciate it, but it is a bit risky, so I'll see how I do. But let me know if you want to hear the demos, then I will do that. Anyway, this week's vlog, the stage stories part of the vlog, is me interviewing a fabulous female artist called Denise De Marchi. Some of you might know her from her band that was successful in the 90s, although mainly overseas, called The Living Daylights. She also has a sister, Susie De Marchi, who is the lead singer, or is still, because they're touring again, is the lead singer of the Baby Animals, which had a lot of international success and obviously massive success in Australia too. And I was very lucky to work with Denise not long ago in our Fleetwood Mac tribute, actually. And it was wonderful to get to know her and to hear her stories. So have a listen, it's coming up next. And I will see you. I'm not sure if I'm starting the weekly thing quite yet. Am I ready for that? Maybe. I'll see you in a week or two. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, I love hearing your comments. Feel free to ask me anything. Leave me any little notes Smokey would like to say. See you later. Bye.
Truth will show when you stand so close. Eye to eye.
Here we are at the Hotel Queen Diane. I have a feeling this might still be in the process of being built. Very nice. Oh, it's already a party. I'm going to get lost. Oh, this way. Hello, Cleveland. So we just finished our gig, was Fleetwood Mac tribute, and it was Denise's first time with us. She did an amazing job. And now we're in one of those hotel rooms that you see all around Australia. Kind of hard to describe. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's, no distinguishing features, I guess you'd say. And I'm going to ask Denise about this, but I'm sure she's had a lot of experiences in a lot of different hotel rooms around Australia. So here we go. This is what the hotel room looks like. Really no big thrill. Woohoo! What is it about those roofs? They always have that kind of roof. There you go. Very fancy. So, thanks for joining me on my bed in my little hotel room. I have Denise De Marchi here.
Chicks.
Yeah, and we've just finished our gig.
Yeah, my first with her.
Yeah, and she did a great job. It was
fun.
fantastic. It was fun.
It was really good fun. We danced.
Everybody danced.
That guy.
Oh, we had
Anyway,
a nice little fan.
It's good.
One thing I was going to talk about when we went to the band room in between the sets, and the guys told us what the sound guy had said. So apparently,
Me too.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
Us too.
we weren't in the band room yet,
No.
and so the sound guy was talking to all the male members of the band and said,
Who were not part of it.
yeah, no, not
They
at all.
defended us.
Yes, and he said to them, how many chick singers do we have to deal with? And our guys kind of didn't really say anything.
I don't
because
even know what
they
that
could hear the
means.
attitude.
I don't know what that means.
And then he said, what's the difference between a terrorist and a chick singer? You can negotiate with a terrorist.
Me too.
And our piano player, Tim Weddy, jumped up
Smacked
and said,
him?
hello, mate.
Smacked him.
I don't think
held
so.
him down, and I sunk the slipper.
This is in our dreams, that part of it. That's what we would have liked to have done. But in fact,
Yeah.
he just used his words very
He did.
maturely and
Yeah.
said,
A
no,
grown-up
mate,
man.
no, that's not, it's not like that. Have you not heard of Me Too? And then he said something about, I'm not on Twitter, which is
Honestly.
related to what? So you don't have to be a decent person if you're not on Twitter.
I don't even know what that means.
Anyway, the reason that I brought it up is because you had a big career in the 90s.
Yeah.
And, we were talking about what Australia was like in the 90s. So that probably was no surprise to you, that kind of attitude.
No, I mean, I've got a million stories, and, well, I revealed one to you earlier tonight, but I'm not going to tell anybody
Oh, really? You're not going to
Do you
tell
wanna
us
hear
that?
that?
Yes! I want to hear it again because it was such a good story
Well,
anyway.
When we first ventured over the Great Divide, came from Perth to Sydney to get our career going.
And this is with your band Living Daylights.
Living Daylights, and that was in, I think, 90 or 91. And we had about enough money to get us there for about 18 months. We'd saved up with all, because we
These
did
gigs.
lots of gigs and lots of session work. We did so much session work in WA that honestly,
Oh, really?
and we thought we'd just walk back to it, but that all finished.
It changed.
It all, yeah. But anyway, we ventured over to Sydney and had a crack at the music industry.
big smoke.
The big smoke. We're doing all our original stuff and.
Pass the test on the night we met. You give me what I need naturally. Oh, yeah, you do. You give me what I need naturally. Oh, got listening love, listening love, listening love, got listening love.
We thought, we'll crack it, and we actually got some really great initial response, which caused us to move over, because we
Right.
came over. We had a little bit of a mini deal with Albert Studios and did
Yeah.
stuff with Kevin Shirley, who ended up working with my sister, which was, what am I looking at? Am I looking at that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was wonderful. I learnt a lot from Kevin. And then we went back to Perth, and then we decided to make the big move over. And then we got over, it was just myself and my partner at the time, Boyd Wilson, and we had a big cachet of songs we'd been writing over a couple of years, lots of demos, and we knew we had to get good players to make it all sound right, you
Yeah.
know. And, we hunted out the top sort of you know, the
Rock dudes.
rock dudes with all the, you know, the cred, all the session players we
Yeah.
got. We worked with Michael Haggerty. We worked with Victor Rounds.
Oh, he's a good
yeah,
friend of mine.
great. I mean, Steve Bull. You know,
Paul Wheeler.
Paul Wheeler.
Paul Wheeler's
Yak.
been a subject of this vlog, and Steve Bull is about to be.
Yes, well, he'll have lots of stories.
Ooh, I'll ask him.
And Steve's a great guy. And Dario, who ends up, he's now working with my sister. But, you know, it was very, like, incestuous. Everyone worked with everybody.
Quite a small industry, really.
Yeah, and we got, we had to get some gigs. So the band said, well, we drove around to Springfields, made an appointment with...
That was in the Cross, King's Cross?
In the Cross. It was the iconic Springfields where all the bands went. And, went there and did got a package together of our demo, and we just wanted to get some gigs. You know?
Yeah.
And the boys said, "You go in. You're the girl. You'll get the gig." And I did myself up as much as I could. You know, made myself look like the poster that we.
Yeah, right. That's always hard, isn't it? Oh,
So I did that, got in, and this is the stinking hole, Springfields, which we just couldn't wait to play there. And went in there, and Marty goes, "I'll step into my office," and I walked in, and I was very wide-eyed and innocent, thinking,
Were
"Oh,
you?
great, yes, completely, absolutely." Didn't know how to deal with these people, but I thought, "Oh yeah, we just want some gigs." And he said, and then he called in some guy that was his offsider or something, and he opened his pants, pulled it out, put it on the table, and it was like a baby's forearm.
Oh my goodness.
It was, and he said, "Well, what can you do with this?" And
What were you thinking? I'm going to run back to Perth.
well, I thought, I just want a gig. I don't want anything to do. And so I just sort of ignored it. Very difficult. It was quite a sizable
The
thing.
elephant in the room.
Was anyway, that was, and I think
You still
because
got the
I
gig,
ignored
though.
it, he just walked out of the room. If nothing happened, I just said, "Look," and then the guy Marty, I think his name was, he just laughed and said, "Sure, we'll give you some gigs."
Was that just a test of some kind, do you
I
think?
just,
Or how many girls think,
I mean-
is this the casting couch?
I don't know. I don't know what goes on in their minds.
know,
That was
right?
really not a turn on,
Oh
by the
my
way.
goodness.
It was gross, and it was just not funny.
But you played there. You went out and told the guys,
I just
next
ignored it. I
time
looked
you're getting the gigs. not me."
No, I got the gigs.
You always got the gigs.
Got the gigs.
Yeah.
And then we,
go
you
get
know,
the gigs.
It was good. And so that was our start of doing some stuff. And then once you get to play, you get a little following, and then the managers, you're trying to get a good manager.
Yeah.
And then we knew we weren't very savvy in that area. We
Right.
knew,
With the business
you know,
side of things.
we were very accomplished singers and musicians,
Players,
and Boyd was a very prolific writer. I don't know if we had it all right, but we had it as right as we thought we could get it, and we
Yeah.
just needed someone to get us a record deal, and get us onto some high-level tours, and you know, get a profile. So we got Andrew McManus, and he was very effective, to be honest.
Yeah.
At the start, he 100%. You know, but I don't know. I think he was more than we really knew
Right.
what we were getting into. But he took us, you know, we got a record deal. He did everything we really wanted.
Yeah.
He got us on amazing tours with the Vinyls, and we did the Boggo Road Shutdown with Billy Thorpe, and worked with just amazing people. We worked with Mark McEntee a bit. We did some stuff with Ivor from Icehouse. Lots of people. Got on all the TV shows.
Yeah.
No, we were on Bert,
Yeah.
and we were on Midday, and we were on Live and Sweaty, and Rage, and Andrew Denton a couple of times. He was great. Loved
Yeah.
him. Yeah, him and Amanda.
Keller.
Yeah, she was they're just lovely people. You
Yeah.
just emanated quality and
Nice.
class, and it was, we just got to have a really good crack at it. And our album didn't get released in Australia, but
Oh,
Japan. No, we released 3 singles, and we were about to release
Here.
the album in
Yeah.
Australia, and one of them went sort of top 10.
yeah, that's
And-
amazing.
but not everywhere. It went top 10 in New South Wales and Adelaide and Tassie and Queensland. So
Yeah.
not
That's
Perth, not my
amazing,
hometown.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Never mind. I don't know.
Maybe
That's a
because
bit
you
of
left.
a bit of a tall poppy thing, you know.
Mm.
And then we got a bit of a offer from Toshiba EMI in Japan to go up there and tour and release our album up there. And yes, thank you. That would be great. So we got fully.
I lived in Japan for a couple of years. I love that country.
Absolutely.
It's one of my
The
favourite
people
places.
are gorgeous.
Oh,
The
and the culture's so
food,
interesting.
it's so good, and they're just lovely people.
open and there's no tall
yeah,
poppy syndrome there.
no, and they're very, very respectful and polite.
Yeah.
And that was just wonderful.
And you had a number one.
we had a number one up
Japan.
there in
That's fantastic.
about 4 prefectures up there, which
Yeah.
is their states. So,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of people. And
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
yeah, it was
I mean,
great.
squeezed into a small space.
Yeah, and we did every single from Tokyo down to Fukuoka. We did
Yeah.
every
You did
um,
Nagoya?
Nagoya
That's where I
everywhere,
used to live.
Kobe everywhere, all the radio stations. The funniest was the radio station here in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
It's called the Big
Isn't
Bang.
Hiroshima beautiful though?
Oh, it's beautiful,
Oh my goodness.
and it's got this beautiful shrine. and
Yes, it's very
it's
eerie.
eerie. It's eerie.
I went by myself, and yes,
Yeah,
it is.
and the radio station's called the Big Bang.
Right.
So they got a good sense of humour.
Yeah. Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh. I just didn't drink for
Yeah.
a second there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, beautiful, and we were sort of like little mini pop stars up there for a
Yeah.
little while, and it was right
If you were
around.
one too, they would have loved that.
Yeah, they think we're all Kylie or something. I don't know.
Aw.
But Roxette was out at the time, and we
Right.
were like a Eurythmics type thing. We were trying to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But everything in Australia was pretty hard rock at the time.
Right. So you
And
felt
we were
like
a
you
bit-
didn't really fit in.
No, it was out of its time, and
Yeah.
but definitely had some good songs, and they got picked up. But
That's
yeah, I don't
great.
think we were the right flavour of the month in Australia.
Yeah.
But Japan loved us.
Yeah.
It was good. And honestly, everything's a new adventure for me. I'm starting a new one now,
Yeah,
I
so
feel
tell
like-
us about that.
Well, I've just moved back over to Sydney from WA. I was running a choir in WA. I was a musical director for 20 years of all abilities young people.
Oh, how nice.
It was fantastic,
You loved obviously doing it that long.
it was wonderful. It really, I'd never been around that sort of adversity
Yeah.
and we turned it into this amazing performance group. And it's with Boyd as well.
Right.
And we ran it, together. We ran it for the first 4 or 5 years. We actually separated and no one knew. We were still working together for another 4 or 5 years and got divorced. But we were still amicable and still working together and ran this amazing performance group. And they were, some of the kids have gone, they weren't all with disabilities. They were kids, some of them were from the top performance groups. It was a real mix.
Right.
They had to actually
How nice
audition.
they would learn a lot from each other.
It was quite an amazing, and it was the mix. It wasn't just all disabled and all, because I've worked with talent schools and
Right.
taught at lots of talent schools. So it was just that magical mix, and some of these kids that were disabled were so talented, and the kids that were really talented but were too shy saw these kids getting up, performing and singing. It was quite a magical thing, and that went for 20 years with Variety, WA, and then started one up with Mike Brady in Victoria
Right.
for Variety,
Yeah.
because he was very involved with Variety. So I started that up in Victoria and ran that for a year, and that, I don't know if that's still continuing or not, but we got it started for
Yeah.
them. And it's now a national program. Worked, and we wanted to work. I wanted always to work with other people and younger people wanting to come up, you know.
Why is that?
I just feel like I love that energy exchange. You know, I really can see. I've got a bit of a thing where I can see someone's where their strengths are, and I can just maybe try this or try that, because they might be doing something, and then I'll go, what about try this? It might not work, but it's something that I see immediately. I can identify strengths in people.
Oh, how wonderful!
And I did that with that performance group for
yes,
years.
there was a lot of that.
Yeah, it was very much so. So I think that's one of my strengths.
So what happened after your big number one?
Well, it wasn't a number one like that in Australia, and yet really Japan's a unique little market where you have to have a hit somewhere else in the world to make any. It's a funny market up there.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I had meetings with record companies and things there too. Yeah, it's interesting.
And they do. They love the blonde. You know, they would love you up there, and you would have done amazing things up there.
You should probably just let people know, in case they haven't picked it up from your name, that you are from, you know, rock royalty family.
Rock royalty.
There's your sister Susie De Marchi from the Baby Anna. But your whole family is quite musical.
Well, we all grew up with. My mum was an amazing singer. And
what kind?
Well,
it wouldn't have been rock
if you've
in that
ever heard,
generation, right?
no, it was very light opera. Because she grew up singing on the ABC in Sydney. Mum's from Sydney.
Right.
She grew up singing on the ABC, and they used to have this bell thing. If you know the bell went chime, I don't know. She used to win all these competitions. She used to sing against people like June Bonhill and all those. And Mum just had this extraordinary voice, and never had there wasn't an outlet really a lot, you know, for people to do stuff. And
so she didn't do it professionally?
She never went professional, but she recorded albums, and
she did.
Yeah, her whole family were quite musical. Her brother used to make violins and play them.
Gosh.
Yeah, so, and then we were just all grew up in a household full of music.
How about your dad?
Dad was a dancer.
Oh, brilliant!
A driver.
How good is that?
Yeah, and he was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Lovely man. And Mum she was sort of the one that pushed us to try different things. So I was playing classical guitar at 8 years old. And,
wow.
I used to have a little group of kids that I used to teach when I was about 12 or 13.
What?
Yeah, it was.
How fantastic!
It was great. And
so
then,
music was your destiny.
Well, always. I mean, it was just. We thought everyone's household was like that. We all thought everyone's mum could sing like that, and we didn't know any different, you know. So, and then we started realising that it was pretty unique.
Yeah.
But I used to go to guitar lessons from a classical guitarist, and come home and then just want to play, you know, Zeppelin and stuff.
Yeah.
And Susie.
Yeah, so the rock thing is both you girls are rockers.
Well, and our brother, our oldest brother, he used to just love Iron Maiden, Budgie Squawk, Zeppelin, all the Zeppelin albums.
So was he your influence? Or
well, we discovered all that sort of music through him, because he'd go and buy the albums and play them, and then my elder sister Janelle, she liked all sorts of stuff as well. And
does she sing too?
Oh, look, she's not a professional singer, but she can carry a tune. Yeah. She went more into the retail side. She opened a music store.
Oh, so she was
so
doing
she made
music.
all the money.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but she's Janelle's never got into the music. My brother played a little bit of bass in a couple of bands, but Susie and I were the ones that, you know, I think I showed it first. Yeah. Because I was playing guitar, and I'd come home and teach Susie what I'd learnt, so it was 2 for 1. So, and then, you know, she'd try her own style of things, but we do lots of things together.
I'd love to hear you two just sing together.
We have sung together.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of little things, little projects and stuff.
Because you're back in the hood with her now, right?
Yeah, but you know, she's doing her thing, and she's never around. We do our yoga together. Yeah. But she's sort of she's back and forth between LA. Her son lives in LA with his dad, and she goes back and forth at the moment. So, but no, we're pretty tight, and very tight family,
Yeah.
luckily.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're very, very. I don't realise how lucky we are sometimes. You know, 'cause
Yeah,
we're
I
close.
just think
and-
that's normal, and it's been
Yeah.
realised soon that it's not.
yeah, but the music's always been a thread there.
Yeah.
You know?
So at which point did you decide you wanted to do it for a living? Because even though it was there, your mother didn't do it professionally, so it's not as if that was a given.
No, well, my guitar teacher used to take me along to her gigs,
Right.
and I'd just play along and sing a bit, and then I started doing little ones on my own.
Yeah.
You know, so I was doing little taverns and little
How old were you then?
16, 17. Yeah.
You weren't even old enough to be
Oh,
legal.
well, no, she'd take me with
Oh,
her.
I see. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I was sneaking into pubs with my older sister to see bands,
Yeah.
and that was like, oh, yeah, this looks good.
This is what you wanted to.
Yeah, and eventually Susie and I auditioned for this band, and it was called The Kind. They were advertising 2 backing singers, and it was Diesel on guitar,
No.
Yak on drums. There was a couple of big bands in Perth, the Frames and the Fingerprints, and Boyd, who I ended up marrying for a short period of time, quite a few years actually, and Dean from the Frames, and that was just.
So you got the gig.
Got the gig. Well, Susie rang up the manager and said, "Listen, this is the De Marchi sisters. You've got to give us
You're a
this
thing.
gig. We're a
De Marchi
thing. We're a
sisters.
thing." Yeah, we've got that from my mother.
I'd be impressed.
Anyway, we got the gig, and that was my first band. And
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, this is good. I like this. And
I can make my life out of this.
yeah, so
So-
that was that.
What are the proudest moments of your career so far?
I'm pretty proud of my girls, what
Yeah.
they're doing. Bonnie, my youngest, just released a single in France.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's written this song with this guy, DJ Felix, and her name's Bonnie Dion, and they've got this song, and it's unreal. And she's good. And yeah, and Nikki's still recording. She's just done
This
a
is Nikki
new
from
project.
Nikki Blue Eyes.
Nikki Blue Eyes is now called Oh Boy
Boy
Girl.
Girl.
She's in this duo thing. Yeah, she's doing lots of things.
Did you feel like you've handed over the mantle to a certain extent?
Yeah, they took it.
They took it. So, I mean, you say you grew up in an unusual household. You only realised it was unusual
Yeah.
later, but your girls have probably grown up in a very similar household.
Exactly, and probably more so because then there's the extended family like Susie and,
Yeah.
and Nuno and
Yeah.
yeah. And Ben has brought my son-in-law. He's married to Nikki. He's been in all these bands, and they value my opinion, which is
Yeah.
nice. You know, it's not like, oh, what would you know?
Yeah, well,
You
they
know?
know you do know.
Well, to a point, but
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, God, don't do things like that anymore.
Oh.
But you know, everything's, just before I left Perth, I joined this band. It was all Steely Dan stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd never done that. I learned this whole catalogue of songs. And,
Yeah, they're
I mean,
great songs.
not that there's no girls singing.
No.
It's just awesome backing singing.
Yeah, I know. I've done BBs
Yeah.
for it as well. It's
And it's
full on
intricate,
BBs.
yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And then I thought, I really want to do more high-end backing vocals. You
Yeah.
know? One of the proudest moments I had, that performance group that I had, that
Yeah.
All Abilities Kids, we were the choir with Brick in the Wall with Pink Floyd.
What? The
Twice.
actual.
We were
Pink
on
Floyd.
stage with Pink Floyd
Where was that?
and at the arena in Perth. It was amazing. And
Was that the children's? Oh, for
That was
that,
the-
for that.
the
Not the
kids-
Brick in the Wall. That
the
song.
Brick in
where
the Wall
kids,
kids, they
bit,
come out
yeah.
and it was amazing. And we did it twice. Both times they came to Perth, they called us back for the second time. And it was amazing. And I said to the kids, you don't know who Pink Floyd are. You go home and listen
Yeah,
to The Wall.
hopefully
you know. And
went.
they did.
Yeah,
And they came and they got to watch the show. And those girls that sing with them
yes,
are
amazing, aren't
extraordinary.
they? Yeah.
And
I've
that-
done a Pink Floyd tribute show, of course,
Oh.
because I've done a tribute show to everybody.
you are
But
the girl.
I did fall in love with Pink Floyd, and doing the
Oh.
backing vocals for that, it's quite gospelly and
Yeah,
it's really
big.
fun. Yeah, it's very big.
Yeah. So, I thought that's really, impressive girls, and girls and guys. It's just such a, it's great. It's a real whole area that
Yeah.
I like and I really enjoy. I've done
Backing
loads.
vocals?
Yeah, I love
Because you
them.
didn't really do it before.
Well, I was always
You
the
were
lead.
doing
The lead, but
front thing.
I did loads and loads of backing vocals on lots of session work,
Right.
on jingles, and hundreds of jingles.
Yeah.
With Kevin Peake in Perth, he had a studio, and all the jingles used to be done there, and then they all went. Like we used to do Red Rooster and Chicken Treat and Coca-Cola and all these great ads, and then we ended up all of them went syndicated.
Right.
So they came over here, and then half of them here are from the US.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
A lot of it doesn't exist anymore.
No.
The session work. Yeah.
no, and some of it's not so good, but it was good. It was good level when we did thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And Wendy
'cause-
Matthews, she used to make,
Yeah,
such
used
a
to-
massive
heaps.
living from
Yeah.
doing all the sessions.
Yeah, and because we were, Boyd used to sing the male part, and I used to sing all the girl parts.
Yeah, right. So you're a good
And we
team
did all the
as
backing
well.
vocals and all the leads, and we there was other session singers, but I think we were definitely
The busiest.
the busiest because they could get two at the same time.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Oh, whenever
And
you
we're-
work together with someone, that's always a
Yeah.
bonus for the
Yeah,
people.
it is. It's
What can you-
easy for them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, okay, you went back to Living Daylights years.
Mhm.
You did lots of tours. You said your manager Andrew got you on lots of tours. Diviners
Yeah.
was one that you mentioned.
Yes.
Any tour stories for me?
Well, there was a couple of moments. I was in awe of Chrissy Amphlett.
Mm.
You know, she was just it. There was nothing else like her. She blew everyone's minds, and she was just, a force. And I was this little thing that was trying to be, as rock as you could get, you know, with the style of stuff we were doing. I was trying to do my thing, and but she was so intimidating. Anyway,
Did you ever feel like you became friends if you toured together? Did you spend enough time?
no,
No. Was that because she just
she
wouldn't
had a
have
very
everybody with
small
her?
circle of friends.
Right. Okay.
And I was not in it. I was on the peripheral.
Hi.
I was just a flea.
Oh.
Anyway, but I was just honoured to be on the bill, and I was touring. A lot of it was with the Dukes. Do you remember Sean Kelly?
Yes.
The Models?
Yes.
The Dukes, his band. We did a lot of legs with them,
Yeah.
and then I think the Falling Joys
Yeah.
toured with us a bit. So we did quite a few legs with Tassie and up the coast, and then we just did a couple where it was just us and Diviners and down here in Canberra.
Yeah. Right.
Did a few hit down here. But when we went to Tassie, I'll tell you this story. Chrissy had a little bit of stuff.
Illicit substance of some kind.
Some substance,
Yeah.
Anyway, she was not herself. And we were in this hotel in Tassie, and she was looking for something down in the lobby, and she was not happy because she wasn't getting enough attention. She was just not herself. Anyway, our manager was off, Andrew. I don't know where he was, and we were all staying in the same hotel, but not near each other, not on the same level. And so I had the band with me, and then they came to us and said, "You're with this group, aren't you?" And we said, "Well, we're the support band." And they said, "Well, you need to go and sort out Miss Amphlett. She's not happy, and she's very terrorising some of our clientele." And I said, "She doesn't want to see me. There's no way she wants to see me." Anyway, they said, "Look, something has to be done." I don't know what happened. She ended up going up to her room. I thought, I just want to make sure she's all right.
Yeah.
And so we all went up, and they were all behind me. And we knocked on the door, and she opened the door in her persona, and they all bolted, left me there. Oh, and she said, "Come step into my room," and She knew who I was.
In a friendly way?
In a dramatic way.
Okay.
It was dramatic.
Like the spider took the
And
fly.
so I was like, oh no. So Boyd and I went in. So Boyd came in with me, and then she said, I need a bottle opener. So he left
To get the bottle opener.
and left me in the room with her.
Ostensibly.
But she was really close up. She was really close to me. I was terrified, but I was trying, and I said, look, I was trying to reason with her, and I said, look, I don't know where Andrew is, and I said, Boyd's got to get, and he was gone for ages. It felt like hours, but it was probably about 10 minutes. Anyway, I said, oh, Chrissy, you're just a big softie, and anyway, she just gave me a whack in the guts. And she
actually punched you.
She did, but it was sort of like a playful.
Was it like this, or was it like?
It was. Yeah.
Was it meant to be playful?
And I don't know, but it was. I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Did you double over?
No.
Wasn't
I
it?
just no. It was no
Still,
news.
someone punches you. It's a bit of a shock.
It was just I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know what was going to happen next, and then Boyd turned up with the bottle opener.
Phew. Maybe he saved your life.
I think. I just didn't know what I was going to. I
I've got
didn't know how to deal with
I've
it.
got the bottle
But she
opener.
wasn't very rational, so I knew that. I just wanted to keep her in the room so she could just come. And then Andrew turned up, and everyone was in the room, and he looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?"
I'm trying to save the day because you weren't here.
Anyway, Chrissy the next day, to her credit, and I'll never forget it. She came down to our band room after we finished the gig, and she just said, "Look, I wasn't myself last night." She was so lovely, and she came up and gave me a hug. And,
Oh, but when she came up, were you like, "Don't punch me, don't punch me again"?
No, I didn't. She was very nice, and I really respected that because she was very, very. I think she was just got off it. She was out of control.
Is she just a
We
troubled
all get
soul?
like that every now and then. Oh yeah, I think she's
general?
probably, you know, when you're at that level and.
Do you think
trying
fame made her?
fame, and she'd done so many things. She'd done that Judy Garland thing as well.
Yeah.
She'd done some acting, and she was in Monkey Grip. She was in lots
Yeah,
of
she did.
so many
I forgot
things,
about
you know.
that.
And she was so many facets to her, and I think she only had to be her. She didn't have, you know, kids to worry about and stuff like that. Maybe she probably might have wanted them. I don't know. But she was constantly pursuing more things, and she was always touring and writing, and you know, she was an icon.
Yeah.
And I think it must be hard sometimes to be that. You know,
sure.
I don't think I could. I don't desire that.
No.
I love just being part of the industry at a good level and trying new things all the time, but I've never had that obsession to be the.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I enjoy it when it happens, but I don't crave it, and I'm not obsessed with it, you know. So.
Well, Susie had a lot of
She was a
success
lot-
with baby animals.
she
How
did.
did she handle all of that?
Well, you know, she was very, very driven.
Yeah.
Very, and I think much more determined and hungry. I mean, admittedly, when I was 20, I had a child. I was a single mum,
Right.
so I was more focused on that
Yeah,
sort
changes your
of. Yeah, changes you.
focus for
And
sure.
so I didn't have to, you know, I had to think about things to a certain degree, but I always had to have my mind on other
In
things.
consideration there.
She was totally focused on what she was doing. She got to work with the right people at the right time, and I think that's a key as well. But you really have to have everything lined up.
Yeah.
And
it's hard
Susie
luck, isn't it?
also, I think Susie had a thing, I don't know. There's something about it that it sometimes wears her out. She's such an
She
energy.
gives a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's an energy thing too that she has, and it's undeniable. And it's I think it's an X factor.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it is,
Yeah, sure.
But she's definitely got something that she gives so much of herself on stage, personality, everything, that it's sometimes you can't be anything else but that.
Yeah.
You know, and Chrissy had
Had a bit of that as well.
yeah. And, sometimes we can all have times when we're at a good level and everything's lined up and you feel that yourself.
Yeah.
And I've had moments like that, where I felt that, but I'm not driven to keep trying to get it.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference too. And yeah.
So what would you say are the lowlights? I mean, you told me about a lot of highlights of your career. What have you had moments where you just wanted not to do it anymore, to give up? And
yeah, I did. What was the hardest thing to keep going was after we'd had all that sort of high level of success and worked with really high level of, and when we moved back to Perth, I was quite happy working as a mentor and a teacher and stuff like that.
Obviously that's a big part of your personality.
Love that, but I found it really hard to go back into what we'd left, the level of cover bands and stuff.
Right.
But I still wanted to sing and do that, and I did it, but I didn't enjoy it very much.
Okay.
I met some great people and we had a really good time, but the music side of it was been there, done that.
Yes. And if you've been there, done that, you don't want to go.
No, and then I decided, I'll just work with the people that I want to work with, and there's some amazing people in Perth as well. And I ended up just working with. I did a fair bit of stuff with Chuck Hargraves, who used to be in Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did duos and stuff like that, and we had a three-piece that was really successful called Zoom for a while, and it was just us three. Yeah. And with another guy singer, Bill Bennett, who was a great singer, but he ended up not being very well. So, but that was fun because we just picked the eyes out of some really great songs and played just acoustic. Yeah, nice. And we used to, play some great gigs, and that was good fun. And so I got back into it on my terms. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, when you jump into something where it's somebody else's thing, and you've already done something at a different level of all your own, it's very difficult. That was hard, and I thought that was a bit of a low light. Yeah.
Well, how about the future? So you're in Sydney, and you kind of have to start again to a certain extent.
Well,
you've got contacts here, but reconnecting.
Reconnecting, and like tonight was really good fun. I've done a couple of little gigs, but I jumped up and sang with Pete Northcote one night. No rehearsal and no, it was a little bit. You had
no rehearsal with us tonight.
But I've had
things out.
But no, but I prepared.
You still prepared yourself.
And it was stuff that you can learn on your own.
Yes. Yes.
But you know what keys, everything.
Yeah.
These were just like little random gigs, and you jump up, and I just don't think I presented myself as well as I could.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
I just know.
Done that,
this is not the best I can do.
No, I want you to send me at my best, and I as I go on more working, I feel like I like to rehearse, and I like being really comfortable because for many years, and still sometimes
your what you do is your name, who you are.
And that person that comes and sees you at your worst gig, that's how you are to them.
Yeah, I'd like to
avoid that.
I like to do, it was fun, and it was really, but it's, this is hard, because I didn't know what keys the song was going to be in, and then you're singing it and it's too low. And I sort of didn't, I sort of knew the songs, but one run through would have been great. Yeah. But these guys are so busy, they don't have time. Yes. So I'm not going to say no to it, but
right kind of. Are you going to be choosy?
Well, I just want to get the right thing going and just work with more people. So I'm just reconnecting. Really, I've only been back for 10 months, and I took the first 5 or 6 months. I just didn't really
settle,
bother. Yeah, and now I want to do more, and I enjoy it. I still enjoy it, and it's good fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
It's all right.
Very interesting.
We can go off and have a nap now.
I know, right?
Rest our weary throats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right, darling.
Truth will show when you stand.